So good morning everybody, thank you for coming along for this keynote on mixed reality. So Opuscope is a French startup, and Minsight is to look at the creative side of the of mixed reality. It's fairly old technology at the end of the day, but in Minsight we look at the creation side of things. So I'm called Soraya. I'm co-founder of Opuscope. I studied history of art in Paris at the Sorbonne, and I wanted to look at a way of getting access to art and reinventing creation in itself in mixed reality. And I'll explain what mixed reality is and how we can have this mixed creative creation. I'm president of the VR Association in Paris, the first association of virtual reality, augmented reality, looking at issues of interest and looking at the ecosystem internationally. So what is mixed reality? We hear this increasingly. Well, it dates back to 1994. I wasn't even born when it came, so it's a spectrum. It's the virtual continuum. So it's at the angle of the real world without technology to something which is totally virtual, in immersion in another world. So this means you can go very easily from a technology-free environment to a virtual environment with more or less virtuality. So virtual reality, augmented reality. So in terms of devices, there's not a lot at the moment. In augmented reality there's about 700 million smartphones which are compatible. We saw that in 2016 with Pokemon Go and Snapchat a few years ago. Predictions for the device park varies. There's an estimation today that will be about 50 million of virtual reality, augmented reality headsets. So as other people say 80 million at 2020, so it's a market which is a big market, $7 billion in 2024 as an estimation, but nobody really knows the figures. Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook said that in 2015, in 10 years' time, there would be 1 billion mixed reality devices, so augmented and virtual, available in the marketplace. So nobody knows. But what is certain, I mean, this is, when you think about telephones before the iPhone revolution of Apple, Steve Jobs, there's been a lot of changes in 10 years. You can see as well in 2015, the first mixed reality headset there, and then today, what will it be like in 10 years' time? Will it be contact lenses? What will it be like? So it goes way beyond the video games in the professional environment, in the working world. It's used a great deal. There's vocational training as well, museum visits, products, marketing. The uses are numerous. So at Minsight we've tried to split into the two projects, experiences, augmented reality, virtual reality, superimposed, whatever. What counts is the result. So we've got two types of projects. A project which is world free, not dependent on the environment, and which can be used in a completely virtual world, but as well in our own environment, and mixed, augmented, and world-locked, which depends on the environment. So you can enrich and you can add content depending on the environment. So that's the outline of mixed reality. So what are we doing today? What are the 3D experiences? Different types of content, from simplest to the most complex. Simple content is visualizing a 3D object. So Sketchfab, for instance, is a good example. There are applications where you can put filters and masks on faces or whatever. You've got Snapchat, Pokemon Go, some little games, things like that, with a big audience. Then more complex content, where you can add different types of objects, 3D images, video images, and create an experience. For instance, you can have a class on the solar system, or you can have something on, you can have a car showroom with virtual cars or whatever. And then there's complex content. So video games, Triple M, Robo Recall. It's a video game which has a lot of development, and there are industrial applications. There's training for technicians, or software for specific needs within the company. That's a different type of content today. And so how have things evolved over time? 2013, very little content, very expensive to produce. And you got simple, medium, high complexity, and then the cost of creation has dropped, so this was for very few people. Now today, we've got more experience, whether it's Snapchat, Pokemon Go, whatever. It doesn't cost a great deal to produce, but it's pushed people. And then you've got medium complexity projects, but there's a lack of tools, creation tools. And then finally, quality content, complex. So we need to bring down the cost barrier so that we can democratize, that's the real barrier today. So we've invited the four main limits, the four main barriers. So the 3D models that we've got, re-engineering, whatever, there's been no real augmented reality experience created yet. We haven't got collaboration tools or remotely on the same experience. You've got to and fro between the computer and the machine. There's no real-time experience. It's just and the distribution is fairly complex and expensive, and there isn't yet the format which makes it possible to deploy the experiences. So for Opuscope, we've tried to democratize the possibility of expression on these mixed reality platforms. So we've been developing for the past year and a half, more than a year of R&D, Minsight, and so that we can create, there's a specificity for, we want to create a 3D experience on a 2D TD format, a 2D format. So we've got to have the appearance, you've got to understand the scale. So you can have a real 3D experience. So this is in collaboration in the same space, or separately, with different machines. Today, mainly on Microsoft, we're the first startup to work on this machine. And so we're very close to the Microsoft core team. So collaboration meant that the teams could create easily and have added value to the person on site and the people in the head office, and so we can have the feedback. But once the experiment's been created, the experience has been created, we can distribute it massively on all different types of platforms, on the web, on smartphones, and so 17 million which are compatible. So once it's been created, we can analyze it, we can iterate it, and enrich creation. So, concretely, Minsight. So all of this is in the headset. I don't know if anybody's tested it yet. So to do this, you've got to bring in the model, you've got to deploy it in the headset or whatever. Now in just a few seconds, we go through the files. There's Dropbox, Google Drive and so on. They're all linked to our software so that we can create content. So these are models. We can put in text, we can change colors. There's sound, videos, type of content. You can put them in your environment and then record. There's videos and 360 videos. So you can see different things. You can set up sound, and here you can see the sound sphere. So we're in experience reading. So once you're in the sphere of influence, the sound comes on. In a museum, you stand in front of a piece of art, and you've got the audio content. So this is a town. And sound is spatialized so that you can guide the user into the experience. So there we are. Thank you for listening. And we're in Paris in the 2nd arrondissement. If you want to come for a demo or more information, come along, contact us. And the first version will be coming out next month. And it'll be on sale in the summer. If you've got any questions, go ahead.
Vous travaillez déjà avec des premiers clients?
You're working with your first customers already, and
Quel type de clients?
what sort of customers are you working with? Well, there's different types. We started in the cultural sector, and the idea was to have something which is easy to use. We've got people from the Centre of the National Monuments, and we worked in real estate.
Merci.
Merci à tous.